glad you're all here in May. We're going to get started in just a minute. Welcome. Thanks for coming out to A2 New Tech. It is May. Well, you don't usually have this big full of a room in May, so pretty excited that you're all here. My name is Brian Kelly. I'm the monthly host of an event that we've been hosting here since 2009, if you can believe it. So 7 years and making almost 5,000 members the list, and new faces every time. First timers to New Tech, raise hands. Yeah, it's so awesome. Every time there's like 50% or 30-50% that are here. So why was this created for the new folks here? Everybody's super busy working on their various ventures, whether it's school or a company or something else. And Ann Arbor, the scene here continues to get bigger and bigger, and New Tech was created so that we all have a physical space to get together once a month, support each other in our ventures, get an opportunity to pitch, meet somebody interesting. That's literally the most important thing I can suggest to anyone who's coming here for the first time tonight. Meet one person that you make a connection with and will maybe pursue something in the future. There's a lot of, this is a really interesting mix of entrepreneurs and founders and developers and students and lawyers. We're in the law school, all coming together in one place. So it's the third Tuesday of each month. You're probably familiar with the format. If you read the meetup page, 5 companies are going to pitch for 5 minutes each, and then 5 minutes of Q&A. As far as what types of businesses we have pitch here, it's from very early validation stage through growth. And we love people coming back. So we've had a lot of companies who were pitching here before they've raised any money, but had a little customer validation, and then they'll come back after Series A, B, or even exit. And those are some of the most fun folks to have back coming here, especially once you heard their early pitches. We'll be here same place next month, June 21st, same room. Quick shout out of thanks to the different groups that help make this possible. A2 Geeks is a nonprofit in Ann Arbor that helps host events like this. Roger down here from R2 Vive, who dedicates his time every month to record. The live stream's going. Check hashtag A2NewTech on Twitter if you want to share the URL with anybody. And then the Entrepreneurship Clinic at the U of M Law School. They've donated the space for a while. Big thanks to them for giving us a great place to get together every month. So only other things to keep in mind, community announcements we'll do after the 5 pitches. And afterward, people mingle around here, usually for a lot longer than you'd expect, and then make their way over to Pizza House, which is on Church Street, 618 Church Street, for pizza, beers, and whatnot. At this point, only other announcement I have to make is my monthly podcast recommendation, which everyone's sitting on the edge of their seats for. It's a non-tech one. I know I've been giving a lot of technology, entrepreneurship ones, but this is totally different. So this is a podcast that's been around for about a year called Home of the Brave. It's by Scott Carrier. He was a contributor on This American Life, and it's just really great. He's just an independent journalist who is sharing his whole story of that he can't even believe he doesn't have to have any advertisement on it. It's completely community supported. And if anyone's familiar with the author Jim Harrison from actually the UP, he wrote a lot. The most popular thing he wrote was Legend of the Fall. And he did an interview with him. He passed away this year, and he on an April episode of the podcast interview with him. It's awesome. Yeah, go check it out. So with that, kicking off our themed month, we have 5 companies from Detroit. Give it up for Detroit, making it up to Ann Arbor. It's entrepreneurship month, it seems, in Detroit. They have Tech Week and Detroit Entrepreneurship Week were over the last 2 weeks, and then starting this weekend through next Friday is Detroit Startup Week. So thanks to all of you who made the trek out here. Really appreciate you coming out. And I have the pleasure of introducing our first speaker, Duránd. He's from the company LavLabs. And the only intro I need to give is it's a consumer internet technology company. So take it away, Duránd.
All right. So thank you for joining me to hear about my So my name is Duránd F. I'm the founder and CEO of LavLabs. It's a consumer internet company out of Detroit. And thinking about what I wanted to present to you guys today, I wanted to start off with what I spend most of my time on in the past I have, and that's codifying our mission statement. And it's really important to us, and it drives everything that we do inside of our culture. And that mission is to inspire creativity by building innovative products that connect and help people. And there's a part of our mission statement that drives what we do inside the company, and which led to us building our flagship product, and that's the ability to build innovative products. So we've been working on this product for some time now. It's a product that most of us don't leave home without. And it's one of the most ubiquitous products right now. And we came up with a cool name, and we're calling it the brain. But no, studies have shown this is our brain in its normal capacity, but there is a very interesting transition in our brain when it's on a form of stimuli. And that's when the brain is on music. So music happens to be the fourth highest of mental stimuli. And here's a more detailed illustration for you techie people in here. So 4 years ago, I set out to build a music product that would change the way people experience, communicate, and share music. I started out when I was 6 years old playing the drums, which led to me becoming a DJ at 9 years old, and I worked for a lot of major record labels and also radio stations inside of Detroit. And I've always wondered, how can I take this experience inside of a party and place it online, how I control music? And it turns out, because of the proliferation of the internet and the mobile device, we've came up with that product and we're calling it iLabRadio. It's a multi-platform music network made to inspire ears. But here's an interesting question. If we could reimagine music, how would that look? Well, for the consumers, it would look this way. We started out with building for the web, which we immediately transitioned over for iOS, and now we're focusing on Android before our product launch. For advertisers, it will look something like this. Here's an illustration of some of our ad units on the platform. So, everyone knows about Spotify, Apple Music, and Deezer, and Google Music Play. But this is what we call the Music Streaming Marketplace 1.0. This is how we see the marketplace in the next 2 years. Music Streaming Marketplace 2.0. So of course we focused on the consumer side, but we found a white space in the market where we can sell music as a service to businesses. So we call that building defensibility around our core consumer application. So here's an idea of how we plan to get the word out, do marketing, outdoor advertising, of course. By the way, that's not there yet in Times Square. So brand partner materials. So while our close, looking forward, we figured when we started out building our company that we just didn't want to be known as a music product. So it turns out we were able to take that technology in iLabRadio and scale it across different verticals. So I looked at the industry and I said, what is the main vertical that companies like myself, such as Facebook and Google, they're focusing on? It turns out it's video. So in the outset when we were building iLabRadio, we also had some time to focus on iLabRadio's sister product that we're going to launch in about 18 months. And we're calling it iLabMovie. So we're bringing inspiration to all the areas of the world, and next we want to satisfy your eyes. So we believe that this will lead to us becoming a long-term product value proposition company through our core company, LavLabs, which will lead to us becoming fully vertically integrated in 5 years. Thank you.
So now's the question part. So if you have a question, raise your hand. I'll pick you out, and you can stand up and fire off a question. And bring Cole up here, one of Durand's partners, CFO at LavLabs.
Yes.
Who's first? Cole.
So it's hard to convince record companies to grant you licensing deals for these pieces. It's been kind of a notoriously difficult part for Spotify. How are you going to convince Beyonce to put her music on your fledgling platform?
So are you asking me as if we haven't convinced them, or are you curious?
Have you convinced Beyonce?
Yes, we already have the licensing deals. But
really?
Beyonce, she don't control her catalog, so it doesn't really matter talking directly to her.
It's not too hard.
She's still signed to Sony Music, so the deal will really go through Sony. The part of her catalog she controls is how much she gets for her actual music. So if it's a pricing structure she don't like, she can hold her music off the platform. Cool. Any other questions?
So my name's Alex, and my question for you is, a lot of music streaming services have issues, becoming profitable. I don't think many of them have become profitable. I think, I'm guessing one of the reasons you guys have moved towards enterprise is to really, I guess, find another revenue source. How do you plan on, really leveraging that to become profitable?
Leveraging the
Enterprise side.
enterprise side? Great question. Really good question. So with the consumer side, the reason why most of the services haven't become profitable is because 70% of the revenues goes to the record companies. So that's through advertising and also subscriptions. And I also believe that Spotify is kind of right with regards to gaining the economies of scale by having a free product and monetizing it later. But the record industry, they're very old. They don't really agree with that model. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story. So Cole and I were on the phone with Sony Music. We got a Universal, they were super excited. We're going to invest in your business. We love your new models you came up with, a pricing model. Warner agreed, and we talked to Sony and said, Cole, should be fine. We'll get Sony, then we're good to go. Oh, Duránd, we do not like that model. It's going to mess up our $9.99 players. We spent 2 hours arguing back and forth. We came to the agreement that we're just going to pay for the content, because the idea was for them to come on and invest as well. But with regards to the enterprise side, I didn't really want to do the enterprise side as a business push, but Cole changed my mind about that, because I was more so focused on Cole. It's just to be a marketing play. Once we get out of the businesses and it drives more consumers to our core app, we're not really going to focus too many people. We have to build a sales team, go out and talk to the small businesses. Even with a company like McDonald's, who had Soundtrack, their brand just got the contract with McDonald's. They provide Spotify business in Sweden. It was a global contract where they get the permission to go and talk to the franchises. So they still have to go out and talk to 38,000 businesses as far as pulling inside the music. So that's the reason why I wasn't really focused there. We don't have the team, we don't have the capital. But Cole changed my mind about that, because it could really be profitable for us if we convince businesses to not only pay for the music, but we're going to provide a good solution.
That's really why I came on in this company. I was so shocked when Duránd was all about the consumer side. I was like, no, we're missing a huge part of the market in a way where we can kind of carve out our space in this congested.
And so, sorry.
Right.
And I see you guys, so it's kind of rude, but like, so you think that you'll sell a business license? So a business would pay basically a super premium account price. So if it's $9.99 for a consumer, a business is going to pay $30 whatever.
So really good question.
Because labels usually do a 1-to-1.
No, it's a really good question. So if I go into business right now and I say, hey, I do this quite often, by the way. Hey, Burger King, how you guys playing your music? Oh, we just have it plugged up to Pandora. I say, oh, it sounds like a DJ. That's my way to not alarm them that I'm really actually investigating. So I just tell Cole, like I told you, Cole, all the businesses play their music illegally. What happens is the record labels, they don't own that portion of the copyright. The record industry is really based upon copyrights. So that copyright is called performance. So for the performance of that song inside of that location, ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC have to go in. They don't have the scale that the record labels do. So when we talk to the record labels, hey, we'll handle it for you guys. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. Thank you, Duránd. We'll love it. So what happens is, for the streaming part, all access inside of the business, we contract with the record companies. For the performance side, we contract with the performance rights organization. So it's like really 2 contracts for 1 model. So what we had to do was we had to create a subsidiary under our primary company just for contract purposes. But as far as the pricing, that's that part. So the pricing is really based on how much money they generate inside of their location to even qualify to even have it in their business.
Can you elaborate on the 5-year plan that you mentioned at the end of your presentation?
The different verticals?
However you might want to do it.
I'll say this. We are going to start with iLive Radio. We have other products that I didn't even mention here. And based on the traction that we gain from iLive Radio, we'll determine which directions we go in.
So is movies a set thing? I saw you mention
Oh, it's
that.
absolutely a set thing. We close off the deals with those movie distributors as well. I came from the record industry, guys, so it's pretty easy.
We make our name with our streaming service, and then we move on.
I think this is the last
Lower
question.
established. Who built it?
Myself and Christopher. He's our engineer. He's actually working on it right now in the office.
Just one engineer?
Just one engineer.
Yeah. What are you looking for from this group? If there was somebody you wanted to connect with, what
When we
kind
launch,
of person?
just tell everybody about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Right on. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Mike right here from MakerOS. Mike has made the trip into Ann Arbor before and told us about his operating system for your Maker business, and he's going to give us an update this evening. So this is one of those examples of a repeat pitch that I'm excited to hear about because it was awesome last time. No pressure.
All right. the times I came here, I actually came in with party poppers and confetti, so I promise I won't make a mess again. So we'll refrain from that sort of activity. Anyways, again, my name is Mike Moceri. I'm the founder and CEO of MakerOS, and I'm here to tell you a little story. So imagine me 19 years old, which was not that long ago. I know, I'm pretty young. But I started the world's first 3D printing retail service bureau in downtown Chicago. We were taking on clients like Boeing, Leo Burnett, SAP, and we're creating custom objects for these companies. You know, for a 19-year-old at the time, you know, he had life by the horns, basically. But really, it was hell dealing with the process of all the data coming in and having to manage all the business aspects and running a small manufacturing business. And what that looked like was something really chaotic. You know, you had all these machines running day and night, but when your customers were trying to order more parts, you had all the different aspects of running stuff through a CRM, which was Salesforce, which is garbage. You don't want to use that. We tried all these different systems for quoting and everything else, but it really was an expensive process. So I sought out and exited that company in 2014 in order to start MakerOS. And what we have developed is a really streamlined process for advanced manufacturers and maker businesses to actually go from creating a project with your customers to actually getting payment and go into production. So what that actually is what it's going to do for you is you're saving up by 5 times the amount of the time with our process and our product. You're saving a lot of money by not having to pay a sales engineer for the automatic quoting module that I'll get into in a second. And that means same with a lot of the other project management and ERP systems that you would normally need to run one of these businesses, and along with consolidating that under one app instead of 6 other separate applications. And this is what it looks like. So you can use it on desktop, mobile, anything. We even ran it on a Tesla browser, so if you do have a Tesla, you can use it and run your 3D printing or advanced manufacturing business through that. I know it's awesome. So we have a lot of enterprise level features, and we have a lot of features that you would expect out of non-enterprise things like a chat system, like Slack built in within a 3D viewer. But the really shining piece of our tech was our automatic quoting system. Actually, if I go back one more slide on that, it's not in here. Wow, they didn't put it in here. Anyways, our business model is such that we have a transactional model where we have an end customer that goes through a 3D printing or an advanced manufacturer, does the transaction, we make a cut out of that. But we also have advanced features available for subscription, which include more AI control of your system and being able to communicate directly with machines. So our customers that we've built over the last several months, we launched our public beta a few months ago in February, but we've locked up companies like ThinkSmiths, that's right on State Street down the road, Engitech. These are really big names within the 3D printing industry, and even Duke University to use the platform to manage their 3D printing solutions. Market we're looking at right now is nearing $4 billion, and that's specific to the revenue generated from the 3D printing industry of parts sold out of the machines. So we're tackling that, and that's compensating for a 20% that we can't reach due to ITAR and other compliances. So our go-to-market is that we're going towards the manufacturing hubs in the United States and North America. We've locked up strategic partnerships with really large companies. You may know Ultimaker, Fisher Unitech. Those are really big names in the industry. And getting our product out there through different website builders such as Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, etc., which will give us access to about 100 million users. When we're comparing ourselves to different competition, you see ourselves with all these different companies, Materialize, Fatnami, and ProtoCow. They're all based out of Europe. But the main gist of it here is that we have the lowest cost of switching onto our platform. We're the most scalable platform, and we have all the different features you need in order to run your business, as opposed to these other ones, which are piecemealed and require a lot of custom coding, whereas we are a turnkey solution. So we've had a lot of success within the last few months. We've had over 1,400 people that have signed up for the beta. We've had a 29% conversion rate in getting people to bring on the companies. We've raised a little bit of money. We've making some revenue. You can see through here our growth within the last few months. In February, we had a good uptick when we announced the actual public beta. We're getting a lot of good data there, so we have a lot of great indicators throughout. This is our team. They're really awesome. I love them. We come from really good backgrounds within the 3D printing industry and such. And I'll just kind of leave up one last slide. This is what we're looking for, if you know a guy.
All right. Great update, Mike. Thanks so much. Who's got some questions for Mike? Stand up. And we'll start over here.
So what did you guys build the operating system on top of?
So we call it the Maker operating system, as in a business operating system.
Oh, I see.
So we are building a bridge to actually connect to the machines themselves, which will act more like an actual real-time operating system. But the thing is when you look at business management software, you have a lot of different systems that control only one aspect, whereas this is a really cohesive platform where you're basically how Android or whatever runs your phone, this type of system will run your service-based manufacturing business.
Okay.
So that's how we plan works.
2 questions. One, where'd you pull the $180,000 savings per year figure from?
Sure.
And also AI?
Yes. So, well, first to answer your question, the $180,000 question, that's the amount of money that you could save by using MakerOS, which goes into the $60,000, which is the median income of a sales engineer required to quote 3D printed parts. And if you're in an operation where you're operating at volume, where one of those engineers typically can only do 5 quotes max a day, so you're accounting 2 of those there, but as well as your costs for your CRM, which what we personally paid in my previous business is $50,000 for Salesforce.
And it's actually more than that after you talk.
Exactly.
Burden and payroll tax and all.
NetSuite, I mean,
right.
we've had
Yeah.
companies switching over like Fisher Unitech, they paid $180,000 just for the license of NetSuite, not just the sales engineers.
Then what about AI?
AI, so right now we're currently leveraging Watson in order to do some lead stuff, but we're looking for the AI to actually monitor production planning, customer communication, and just how there's basically analysis on speech recognition and such by different AI platforms. We want to train it to look at 3D files and actually identify certain key features and how you can actually apply that to design changes or production changes.
So are you going to be just using AI internally, or are you going to be licensing it to?
Yeah, it'll definitely be part of the whole software package.
Okay, cool.
Hi, my name's Brandon. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
My question is, do you have any idea for the software to help you like control the planning and the instruction of workers? Because usually the 3D print bed is, one bed, and you have to watch it and come back to it when the product is done. So does the software have any idea of like how to control the labor that's required to, reset the machine? And
So within the automatic quoting module, which for some reason was left out, it's actually right there on that screenshot. What it's compensating for in the back end is you're actually putting in different parameters and how to analyze the file. So we're able to actually very accurately judge different aspects of that file that require manual labor, including shipping and handling, etc. So when you look at the 3D file, we extract the data, and you're able to see how much material is going to be used, how much time, and how much what's called support material, which is another technical term for if you're familiar with that. So that's all kind of compensated within how we quote different things and plan.
okay, thanks.
Other question, Will?
Yes.
So when building an automatic code generating module, the 2 most important things are the cost estimation and the lead time. So when you look at those 2 figures, how accurate are they to reality?
So we found with several of our customers, by using our system, they were actually underquoting themselves, some of them by 20% actually. So it's even better than the manual process that we found in our tests. And we did have different, we call them security provisions within the automatic checks, so that if a customer orders over a certain threshold, or if the file is too small or too big, then our system is able to detect that to prevent someone ordering 1 million units, which would be nice. But there's thresholds built within the software.
One more question. Can we get one?
Do you house all that data in-house? And if so, what steps are you taking to protect your clients from maybe proprietary data that you bring in?
Oh yeah, so from the outset, when we first built out the platform itself, intellectual property was certainly one of the things that we took a look at. So one of our key engineers is actually a data and security scientist. So we're building everything really tight and secure. I obviously wouldn't tell you the specifics of how we're doing that for security reasons, but it's something that we are definitely very cognizant about and are looking to keep it that way. But it's not something where it's like a private cloud or anything like that. By the way, it's all hosted cloud-based. So if that answers your question,
We appreciate it.
There'll be time afterward to ask Mike some more questions. Thanks so much, Mike. All right, rolling right along. Our guys from TuTrunk are going to tell us about their cloud streaming platform for independent artists with tools to increase sales, engage customers, and enhance their existing storefronts. Welcome.
Thank you. While you get that set up, I know that everybody clapped to welcome some people from Detroit here. Thank you all for having us. You know, it takes both of the spaces So thanks to Doug and you guys. You know, I mean, it's awesome to be able to figure out how to build a better reciprocal system between both spaces. I think there's probably so many things I don't know about the Ann Arbor space in terms of startups and the culture that you have built here. And I think that the same can probably be said for Detroit. And figuring out a better way for us to bridge these gaps, I think, makes a stronger Michigan and in theory, a more investable Michigan, which I think is the point, right? So, Ari is getting set up. Are we good? You got it? Hit the button. Hit the button. Yeah. So, we are TuTrunk. There's this like seminal Jay-Z line where he says, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman," right? And the thing is, like, the thing that Jay-Z did amazingly is that he effectively was able to become a very successful entrepreneur as an artist. But that's not something that happens all the time. Duránd has a platform that's going to, in theory, put us in a place where we have a better amount of access and a more intuitive access to existing major label record labels. Right? People who have already been chosen by the machines and are being pushed. We're going to have easier access to them. I don't particularly love mainstream music. I don't know who shares or doesn't share that particular thing. I'm an underground guy. I like hip hop. I like Jay Dilla. I like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm from Detroit. Like, House Shoes, Black Note. Like, these are people that I've looked up to my entire life, and they're not really good entrepreneurs. A lot of them. Like. In fact, they're bad a lot of the time. So one of the things that I started asking myself when I moved to LA in 2007 was, how do I bring any of my energy to that problem in a way that addresses some of the entrepreneurial gaps that artists face? Independent artists, they need to figure out how to sell, they need to figure out how to resell, they need to figure out how to know their customer. The same problems that any business has, right? Artists are entrepreneurs, we just don't call them that. So, TuTrunk, when I found the guys building TuTrunk and actually Bamboo, where you'll hear about in a minute, I loved it because it addressed some of the core challenges I had seen trying to manage and work with artists in LA and then in San Francisco.
So, with that foundation laid, based on the customer discovery and the research that we've done, the entrepreneurs, the biggest problems they face include having one cloud streaming platform to go to, not 15. And being able to split their revenue as it comes in, which we've already built, and managing a customer's lifetime value, which might make sense to people in the tech world, but in the entrepreneurial world, the conversation ends with the artist as soon as you sell something. What we've done is actually create post-purchase engagement. Influencers, who we're deeming as, honestly, anybody that shares any media. So it could be any of you, or it could be people with 1 million Instagram followers. But anybody needs a place for social storage, streaming, and sharing.
Interjection, record labels don't sell records. They don't. They send it to blogs and to people. Those influencers are people who actually generate cultural movement, period. And it's been that way for a long time. They've gotten people at landing pages and websites now, but record labels are not selling their records. People. So how do we pay the people who are actually selling the records and are actually gaining artist traction? How do we make them part of our sales funnel?
And how do we pay them more than ad click? and how do we create meaningful conversations. So again, we have Slack-like chat groups to fix that and address that problem. And then people, I mean, if you have a favorite artist, you want to know that you're actually being heard by that artist, and you want to be able to stream that artist's art on any device. And now artist here is photographer, musician, videographer, graphic designer, anybody.
Any digital asset, not just music, video, photo, anything. Right? They're all creatives, they're all artists, and they're all the people that eventually, in a lot of ways, drive social change in our culture. How do we get them to be in a place where they don't have to sell their souls in order to change the world?
And we might sound like a bit like hippies about, not selling your soul, but it's real. Like, this is actually how the industry works.
iTunes is taking how much from every sale?
70%.
Shutterstock is taking 80 sometimes.
Yeah. And these
That's
are public
crazy.
numbers.
That's crazy. Artists is getting $2 out of 10 on a photo they sell? That doesn't make any sense.
So what we've done is create that beautiful cloud streaming platform to allow anybody to manage, share, or sell their digital content, provide an audit-ready reporting system, create conversations for fans to have with artists, and that way the artist knows that the fan's voice is heard, and the fan knows that their voice is heard by the artist. And influencers get paid by hockey assist. So not just, hey, I'm sharing this piece of music, have a cut of the revenue, but actually, if I share a piece of music with you and you share it with him, now I get a cut and you get a cut. These are just features that aren't available right now in any software. So this is our next 6-month roadmap. We can get into details in the question and answer. These are the key metrics that we're tracking based on Bessemer Ventures, and our pricing is based on Tom Sanguza at Redpoint Ventures and his 2 out of 3 pronged approach of how to attack a market. This is our team. Niles, Ari, David and Noah, the guys building it, are right now building it. And
Just leave that up there. Somebody else had a question.
I know there's going to be some questions here. Who's first?
Oh, these guys ready to go.
So there's always this question when you're building a tech product of like, do people care, right? And sometimes you got to tell people why they should care. In 2010, I did an album for Haiti Relief. It's called Notes for Haiti. And one of the biggest challenges I had was, other than artists that I knew, getting any major label to actually release rights to a song so that I could sell it for charitable benefit was a fucking nightmare. Excuse my French, I don't know if anybody cusses in this room, but it was really hard. And so one of the things that I wanted to do with this platform when we launch, which hopefully will be in the coming weeks, we're gonna open a trunk and say, artists, if you have something that you want to donate, listen, artists are broke, right? But if I can give you a song, if I can give you a poem, if I can give you a video, photo, something, and we can sell that, all of the proceeds that are sold from anything in this trunk are going to go directly to Flint. And we're going to open that up to artists across the world and say, you might not have the opportunity to give a dollar donation, but you can do something better and you can give this piece of yourself to make a difference. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. So, Flint. Dope. Martin.
You said that in general, artists get very, very small share. What are the artists and the people making the assists getting via your platform?
So a lot of that's going to be up to the artist. We want to leave as much power. The point of this is to build a tool and to let people use it how they see fit. The platform takes between 5 and 15%, depending on whether or not you have a premium or a freemium, account as a creator, right? If you pay for the elite, you can get we'll take a 5% cut. You get 95% to do whatever you want with it. That's to split your proceeds between rapper and producer. That's to split between photographer and the crew that helped take the photograph or the video. You can set up any number of divisions that you would like. It strikes the payments out automatically. It gives you a forensic report at the end of the month or whatever time frame you want. It tells you how much money went where. So now you don't have to do the bookkeeping, which is one of the things record labels actually do relatively well. Do know as an intentional.
So my question is, so obviously your company is aiming to fix something that you definitely believe is broken. I think a lot of people believe is broken, an industry that's broken. What does the ideal music artistic kind of industry look like? music, photography, indie movies? What does that look like to you?
So point one, I don't think it's my right to tell you that. I think by definition we're talking about creation, and so I want to give people as free reign as possible to create the things that they need, that they feel they need. I'm a writer. I write things because I need to write them, not because someone needs to read them. I want to give artists the tools to be the best entrepreneurs that they can be. And I think that in theory, we should figure out how to unbloat some of the bloated system that Duránd was talking about a second ago with how big the record label and archaic the record label's actual institution is. And start saying, how do we just take the things you do well and codify them and give them kind of to the world and say, let's see what happens. I don't know if that answers it.
Yeah.
Anything else? What's up, Duránd? Or, yeah, sorry, you got it.
So I spent a lot of time focusing on the unit economics with regards to playing around with the price. And we came to where we could charge 99 cents for 20 songs on demand, which we call 60 Unlimited. I didn't allude to that in the presentation. How are you guys going to work the process? And I want your philosophy on this. It's not like, I don't think you understand it. How are you guys going to work out if the artist want to charge as low as $1 for one of their materials or a song, for that matter?
Then TuTrunk will make 5 cents or 15 cents.
All right, so.
I got it. We charge a hosting fee, which is greater than, we make money, like this is a business, not a charity. So we do make money by, yeah, I'm good with that. So we make margins on a hosting fee, and that hosting fee is greater than the cost to stream and host. And then we take a cut of each transaction, and we have a membership.
Is that a hosting fee? That's smart, by the way. Is that the hosting fee is charged each time there is a transaction, or
wholesale? Yeah,
wholesale transaction.
Yep.
How is that determined dynamically based on the cost of the actual
product? No, it's
product?
that. So it's that because each piece of content, the way we have our deal set up with the person who's doing our bandwidth and hosting, it's favorable to us to not try to exploit artists. And this is where, like, we have to give away the knowledge. We're here to change an industry, and part of that is not doing the same, part of my friends, dickish things that the record labels do already. So with that, we'll conclude. If you have any other questions, we'll be here.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, we're going to hear from Amanda, who runs a space in Detroit where I think some of these presenters here tonight actually met, called Bamboo Detroit. Bamboo builds flexible workspaces for communities and entrepreneurs. So with that, Amanda will get started in just 1 minute.
Hi.
You're on.
Thank you guys for having us. It wasn't that bad of a trek, by the way. We had a running joke for like a day that we could get Marc to leave early. He's usually late. We all know that. But we left really late, according to our time, and it was not a bad drive at all. So we hope to see you guys next week for Detroit Startup Week. It's a week of free events. If you have questions, there's a lot going on. So like Niles and I can help you pick a day to come down or a couple events to make it. I know we don't expect you guys to all be there all the time, but thank you. Bamboo Detroit, we started off as a few friends who really had no space to go to work together. And it sounds kind of crazy, but in Detroit you find a lot of basic needs are missing and there's a business opportunity there. So when we started, there wasn't another co-working space. If you were an entrepreneur, you were either in a program like Bizdom or TechTown, you were working in a coffee shop, you were working at home, maybe from your parents' home, and you didn't have a place that was like central and open and affordable to participate in. So we kind of just got started with an office space, about 3,200 square feet, and we really focused on making that collaborative, making it a place for creative individuals, lots of freelancers and small teams, and building a community. Our mission is to inspire people to create together. So most people who join a co-working space are looking for collaboration or a social aspect. And we try to really create that environment. This are a few pictures of our space. Our values, we try to be very, very open. So even if you're just popping in or you have a question or you're traveling, we have folks who come in for a day, they're just sent to us. We'll help them find places to live. We try to really like connect you to the city of Detroit, which is vastly changing, huge and confusing, and but still easy to get connected to. We try to be very collaborative, social, member-driven. So starting off, one thing that I think makes us different is being entrepreneurially led. So we are all in it together. We don't always know what we're doing together, and we figure it out. And then we let members use our space as a platform to launch ideas, products. We try to do launch parties, offer feedback for folks. One member, Ted, he is an independent filmmaker. He realized there wasn't really a place to go to watch movies in Detroit, which is another real problem. The DIA has lots of great films, but we started a Bamboo movie night to help him showcase his work and other independent filmmakers in the community. We grew very, very organically. So started with a team of 4 and grew to over 100 members in just 2 years. Sorry if your logo is not on there and you're in the audience. They tend to be very, like we said, different ages, different stages. You could be an independent writer. You can be, we have Healthy Detroit, a nonprofit. We have Original Sticks, who makes craft iPhone cases, LavLabs, lots of folks. A little bit about our business model. We try to be affordable and flexible. So right now we operate like a gym membership model. $99 a month to $149. We do also free open co-work days, lots of low-cost workshops. We're about to double our size downtown, so we just received a grant from the city of Detroit to help us with our build-out. It's going to be 6,000 square feet on 1420 Washington. Part of that was during the 2 years, we heard a lot of requests like, hey, we're either growing and we're a small team and we can't find a place to work in Detroit. We need more privacy. So we're going to offer private team offices, individual offices dedicated, and still have a lot of open co-working. A little bit more about some of our workshops. We do lunch and learns, workshops, movie nights. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with co-working spaces and some of the events that we all do. Perks, 24/7 accessible. That really wasn't available downtown either. Affordable rates. We are working on getting Rocket Fiber, which you'll learn about in a minute, and we'll have that in our new space. So fast internet. Actually, internet was a huge issue when we got started. We all started off with just hotspots. So another thing that's going to be really great to learn about. Coffee, printing, conference rooms, all the basics you need. But on top of that, really having, as you kind of hear from some of our folks here, if you talk to them afterwards, really people meet other founders. They meet and build their teams. They get feedback. They've met investors in the space. So I think having a lot of that social networking for entrepreneurs was really important. And then a little bit of info. If you wanted to find office space or join, we definitely are still taking memberships. Happy to answer any questions. I really just wanted to connect with you guys, hear more about the Ann Arbor community, help anyone get connected to Detroit. I think that's why we're here. I hope that was helpful. Second time ever presenting Bamboo, so.
Killed it! Yeah. Amanda. Detroit's for yours.
Oh.
Sorry.
Questions? Throw up your hand. I'll cue it up. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so I've heard that Startup Week is next week.
Yeah.
I believe the schedule, there's some evening activities, but a lot of it runs during the day. Would it be possible to come to Bamboo Detroit and co-work for a portion of the day and then attend some activities?
We are going to have a pop-up co-work space at the base camp, the main area for the event. So we already have that covered. So absolutely, yes.
We know people can't take the entire week off and will still need to get their laptops and their emails out, so we have space for that at the base camp.
How secure is it? I mean, if you say, okay, I want this as my office space, but I want to bring a desktop computer and leave it there, is it secure, or would it really just lends itself to bring your laptop and your materials?
So people, the way they work, they take their laptops home because we're all open, collaborative space, but we do have some folks who leave their stuff there. It's very secure. We have all of our doors locked.
Every night.
Security cameras. Really, downtown's gotten a lot safer, so we really haven't had any issues in 2.5 years we've been there. That being said, in the new space, we'll have more locked private storage, so it'll be even better for that.
So what's the business model for the space? Like who has like the master lease for the space, and then how do you handle that? I'm just curious in terms of this model.
So Bamboo Detroit, our business model, we're a for-profit company with a social mission to have that affordable and diverse, affordable access and a diverse community there. We actually do lease the space as the company, and then we manage it and build a brand community around it. So some co-working spaces do also purchase the building. I think that would be something we do in the next few years.
How about parking downtown?
Yeah, so parking downtown is not that scary. It's $5 a day around Bamboo. There's also some free parking nearby in the casino area. street parking is now $1 an hour. So most of our members, because of the way Detroit is, a lot of folks come in from the suburbs still. So they come down for a day or two, maybe even 3 at the tops, and they pay for parking. In the next space, we're also going to have some parking spots available.
Plan to do multiple locations or franchises out to other cities?
We are thinking about joint venturing and maybe potentially long-term franchise type model. But right now, we really want to double our size downtown, get that home base going, and then maybe go to other communities where there's a need for space and where there's folks that want to build a community. I think those would be the 2 things we want to find. And then we'll uplift them by giving them a lot of processes, tools. We have had a lot of interest. I think a lot of folks tend to think, oh, I have a building, I'll put a co-working space here. I might even build really fancy furniture and invest a lot. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think if you build the brand and the culture, that's what makes it invaluable. It makes it work long term. Really, you see more profit when you oversell or oversubscribe the open co-work seats. So even though we have about like 110 members, you never see more than 10 people available at once, unless there's a huge event. And that is kind of where that extra profit comes in.
You want to describe a little bit more of the new building? I toured it and it's really cool, and I don't know if you talked much about the event space or anything.
The new building is a 7-floor building, 1420 Washington Boulevard, locally owned, and we're going to be taking over the 3rd floor. So part of a lot, and I think that's where the gap in the market is. A lot of the builder buildings are very pricey for startups, so we're hoping to, again, help provide a need there that's a little bit more affordable. It has a huge event space on the top floor, so we'll be able to do more events. We have a bank, Level 1 bank, that's a partner of ours that wants to fund and support more startups, and hopefully we might go on to the 4th floor too, so there's room for us to expand. Washington Boulevard, for those of you who don't know, is just 1 block away from Woodward, so you're still right downtown. 2 blocks away from Marcia's Park, that's where you go ice skating, and that's where there's a beach bar in the summer. So if you do come to Detroit, come during the summer, and we'll show you the beach bar.
I just did a Google search for WeWork Detroit, and you guys came up as the #1 hit. Yeah. So that's good news.
Yeah, my background's in marketing, so I.
Brilliant.
How many of you are familiar with WeWork? They're definitely like, the McDonald's co-working, but much nicer. So they started in very dense urban cities. Don't tend to come to secondary markets. I say McDonald's co-working because they're everywhere, and kind of, I think, have lost that community feel. But if they come to Detroit, you think that they're going to serve a different, definitely different person, probably a little bit more on scale, and not necessarily leave the startup.
Woo! All right, moving right along into our last pitch of the night, we have Mark from Rocket Fiber, who's going to tell us about how his company is helping get much better bandwidth than personal hotspots to lots of businesses and co-working spaces downtown. Also, so gigabit fiber, Ethernet, HDTV, and you take care of customers too, apparently. So, Mark, I'll help you get this jumping. Of course, it worked earlier. Yeah, the fiber Mark.
Zero.
Sorry guys, I know everyone's anxious to get pizza. The Microsoft Surface Book, which is like the nicest Microsoft laptop you can buy, and it cannot recognize the monitor.
Someone.
I swear we tried this in advance.
Community announcements? Is that right?
Yeah, why don't we switch into that? I'll get him go.
Yeah,
So, we'll get this presentation queued up. We usually after the last prezo we do community announcements, but if you have any meetups to announce, you're looking for a job, you're looking to hire somebody, now's a good time to come down in front and make your case, make your ask. So please line up down here behind Doug and make your announcement.
So real quick, I have one Detroit-related announcement. So I was in Detroit early today at Grand Circus, where Code 2040 was presenting and announcing again their new partnership with Grand Circus. Does anyone know what the year 2040 represents? No? Future. Yeah, future. It apparently is the year in which, in the U.S., the U.S. becomes majority minority. And so Code 2040 is an initiative that has been built to support and create pathways to success in the tech industry for Black and Latino folks. They have chosen 7 different cities to partner with. Detroit is one, and they're doing a bunch of programs with Grand Circus. I encourage you to check it out. Grand Circus is doing a whole bunch of stuff these days with the Hacker Fellows program, if you're not familiar with, where they're, Duo has hired 5 people out of Hacker Fellows. We also hired the instructor. But anyway, we're getting a lot more involved with, again, the talent pool that is represented by 5 million people in Metro Detroit versus 140,000 people that exist in Ann Arbor. And so anyway, I encourage you guys to check out what's going on with that, because they are placing a whole bunch of new fellows that are coming through that program in a bunch of companies not here, unfortunately. So I met a number of interns there. They're going to companies like Slack and whatever. They should be here. We should hire them. So check it out.
Woo! Hey, Mike again from MakerOS. Just wanted to say that we are hiring software developers. So anybody that is into PHP, has experience with JavaScript, obviously, please come speak with me. We need someone to kind of carry the heavy burden of front-end development. So anybody that wants to join us in that realm.
Who's hiring? Raise your hand. Anyone hiring? All right, so if you're looking for a job, talk to one of the people. Raise your hand. All right.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Wasimullah and I'm CEO and co-founder for ZippyCare, which is a telehealth platform. We do HIPAA compliant video portal and also chronic care management. And we are looking for software developers and also people with experience in marketing. And you can reach us at waseem@zippycare.com, WASEEM, and we are based in Canton, Michigan. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelima Ramaraju, and I'm one of the co-founders of a nonprofit called A2 Health Hacks. So we're actually a group bringing a healthcare-focused hackathon to Ann Arbor, but really hoping to reach the southeast Michigan and potentially outside of that as well. We're focusing this year on disease prevention, so health and wellness products. The hackathon is June 24th. Registration is now open. And I would also like to invite everyone to a happy hour that we're having next Wednesday, so that's May 25th at 6 o'clock at the Slurping Turtle. There's an area downstairs. We've been doing those to get the word out and get people excited about the hackathon. So we have mini hacks where people with healthcare professionals with real problems come and talk about their issues, and then we get together and we hack them. So hope to see you there.
I'm Lisa Shuddy, and I'm with Jewel Health, and we are also hiring. We're looking for someone to do back-end development, Java, Python, Postgres, AWS stuff. Anyone who's interested, see me after.
Is Jewel going to pitch an HDTV tech?
Yes.
Hey guys, Sam's cheering for me. Hey guys, I'm Kelsey Trebu. I'm from FarmLogs. Wait, what?
This is Hey Kelsey.
Hey. So we are hosting an Ann Arbor design group meetup next Tuesday at our office. We're on the 2nd floor. We'll probably actually hang out on the 3rd floor. But the theme of this meetup is going to be really cool. We're doing a design jam. So we had a lot of great feedback last time about actually hosting a jam instead of a show and tell, which is what we did before. And the jam, we're calling it an A2 community lift up. So what's really cool that I've seen tonight is like all these awesome Detroit people coming in. Like I feel this corner is so like community based that I really want that for us here in Ann Arbor. And so, and not even just me, but like our whole crew of Ann Arbor design group people. But so it's time to make Ann Arbor a more collaborative and like a leading entrepreneurial and tech community. And so we already have like a Made in A2 group on Slack, which Brian has been helping a lot with. And yeah, so we're trying to like solve this problem of creating a more collaborative community in Ann Arbor. So if you're interested, please come next week. It's Tuesday, starts at 5:30 at FarmLogs HQ. And check us out on meetup.com. We have a group called Ann Arbor Design Group. So yeah, that's it.
Two quick announcements. One, I'm the organizer of the A2 BrewTech events, kind of a sister event to the A2 New Tech organization, and we have a very special one coming up 2 weeks from now. It's going to be at Working Tile right here downtown, that was thanks to Tom, who was gracious enough to lend the space, who's back there. And so it's on meetup.com/A2NewTech. Sign up. It'll be 2 weeks from now, and we're really excited to be there. And if you liked some of the presentations here and you want to kind of learn how to code, come join Coffee House Coders. We're a group that kind of helps people learn any technology you kind of want to do. We're on Meetup as well, A2 Coffee House Coders, and our next meetup is next week. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name is Dan Davis. I'm with a company called Pillar Technology. We're at 301 Liberty, right downtown here. We are hiring, of course, common theme here, but polyglots. Java, .NET, JavaScript, anything you might know, we're looking to bring in and build up some teams. We're even looking to add on a few delivery leads, what we call delivery leads. They're basically project managers, scrum masters, everything else. Pillar is kind of unique. We're hardcore at practicing a lot of the agile practices, a lot of TDD, a lot of CI, a lot of those things that you don't normally get in a lot of shops. So if you're interested in growing in that space, definitely come talk to me. And real quick, coming up on the 26th, we're having an event. Plugged In events, kind of our monthly thing we do. This one's focused on, that won't be too happy, but a Slack integration and building bots. So it's kind of got a bot focus to it. Bot's the new hot thing, right? So if you're interested in growing some aspects around that, come check it out. PillarTechnology.com has the events and definitely our career stuff. So thanks everybody.
I'm Chase, and I'm currently looking for a co-founder. So what I want to start is a video platform site for elderly people to share their stories. So it could be related to their grandchildren or their children that don't have time to see them during the day. And they could pass on like valuable stories about how they fell in love or values they learned in their lifetime. So right now I'm looking for a co-founder that would be primarily focused in the developing end. So if you're someone like that, talk to me after. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Rushi. I'm here with ISEC, which is the world's largest youth-driven organization. We've been present in Ann Arbor for over 60 years. We primarily work with a lot of for-profit industries, or for-profit firms, per se, and we provide you guys with interns. However, now in the past 6 months, we've been looking into startup fields. So we're operating in Silicon Valley, São Paulo, Vienna, and a lot of different areas, 127 countries, over 3,000 universities. And what we want to do for Detroit potentially and in the Ann Arbor area is invest a lot of our top talent from around the globe and bring it to you guys. So if you guys are interested in getting interns, all the people want to hire people out there, come talk to me. I'll be in the back. Again, I was at Techweek. I'll be at Start Week next week. I'll be in Chicago for Techweek over there. I'm just pretty much trying to figure out, is Ann Arbor or Detroit the next entrepreneurial hub globally? If you are, come talk to me.
My name is Nick Sarafa. I'm in charge in code and community at Long Guru. We recently moved to the area. We're on Washington Street, right on top of Ann Arbor Brewing Company. These two guys over here, Jake, Sky, raise your hands. So we just moved to the area. And kind of, that's the first time, and just kind of echoing the message from Niles and a lot of these guys over here. You know, I went to the University of Michigan. I grew up at Bamboo. You know, I started a couple companies there, and it's kind of come full circle. I'm back in Ann Arbor. We got to build a bridge. So anything we can do to facilitate people seeing southeastern Michigan as the hub rather than Ann Arbor and Detroit, let's get this thing working, and I'd love to see you guys out here more, and vice versa. Thanks, guys.
Hey there, I'm Nancy Shore. This is my first time here, so it's very exciting. I'm
the Get Downtown Program Director, so I work at the Transit Authority. I work with a lot of you guys in downtown Ann Arbor on specifically transportation needs, but I'm also here because I am interested in continuing to build community in the Ann Arbor area. It's what I do with the Get Downtown program, and I've been hearing a lot of tech companies here talking about how we're going to build a community, how we're going to engage with Ann Arbor, and I certainly have some of those resources and interests, so if you're continuing to be interested in that, I'm happy to talk to you afterwards, and I'd love to continue the conversation. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Ferris Sabati, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of MySwimPro. We're a new startup in town. We just started the University of Michigan Desai Accelerator about 2 weeks ago. Really excited to be here and network with all of you. So MySwimPro, really quick, is a global community of passionate swimmers who are focused on improving performance and health. Athletes on our platform are on pace to log almost 10 million miles by the end of this year. So we're really looking to network with mobile developers, iPhone and Android. Really excited to be here and talk with me after. Thank you.
I am making one announcement by proxy. So Dana from the Ann Arbor Summer Festival was here earlier. If you haven't been to Ann Arbor Summer Festival, for new people to town or people from out of town, this is an event that runs from June 10th to July 3rd every night except Mondays. Free movie, drinks, movies and music, food and drinks. It's great for families as well as singles. Some great acts on the main stage. You can buy tickets for some of the events there also. Brochures are down here with the full lineup. It's a really great annual event here for those who have been before. So make your way down, happening June 10th to July 3rd, and pick one of these up on your way out. Now my plug, Ann Arbor Product Meetup, if you're in product management, product marketing, you're doing anything of facilitating all those customer feature requests into something that resembles a roadmap. I run a meetup that's every second Tuesday of the month. So next month will be June 14th. Look at find it on Meetup. And my day job, I work at a company called Nutshell, which is make a sales software for small businesses. And currently looking for somebody to do like a user experience research. So it could be part-time, student. So if you're or know somebody who is in that area, looking to hire somebody there. So with that, we're going to get on to our final pitch of the night from Marc of Rocket Fiber. Again, Rocket Fiber provides ultra-fast gigabit Ethernet or gigabit fiber internet. There we go. Stunning HDTV and world-class client care. So thanks, Marc.
Guys, Marc Hudson, co-founder and CEO of Rocket Fiber. I just want to get my ask out of the way. We're not raising money, so you're not going to see a lot of financials. But if you have questions about the economics of our business or industry, feel free to ask me afterwards. My ask is that you consider Detroit as a partner. The reason I'm here tonight, the reason I'm really excited to be here, even though I'm actually pretty sick and I'm on some good meds right now, so if I start going off on a tangent, somebody just bring me back in. But the reason I'm here, Doug asked me to come out. Really wanted to focus on bridging kind of the gap between Ann Arbor and Detroit. It's kind of a theme we're beating to death, but I'm super proud to be part of a startup in Detroit, and I kind of want to pitch to you the opportunity that's going on in Detroit right now, specifically how Rocket Fiber plays a part in that. So the problem, the internet is broken. I'll say usually I do this presentation on a Mac, so I get a nice like spinning loading icon, but we're going a little low tech right now. So the problem, the internet's broken. The United States, we actually invented the internet. Not a lot of people know that. It was invented here in the United States, and so for the longest time, we have had the fastest internet in the entire world. And actually, a little side piece of history is the internet traces its roots right back here to Ann Arbor. Doug knows a lot more about that. I actually learned about that in school. Probably should have taken better notes had I ever foreseen myself starting an internet company. But Ann Arbor was actually critical, one of the first hubs on the internet backbone. But we used to be the fastest in the world. It's 2016. We've fallen behind most of the rest of the developed world. Western Europe and Southeast Asia in particular are basically lapping us in terms of average internet speeds. On top of that, the internet service provider industry and the cable industry are year over year ranked as the worst industry in the entire country. That's below big banks, and that's below the federal government. So people would rather go deal with the federal government or their bank before they want to deal with their cable and internet provider.
You talking about Comcast?
I was going to lead my presentation and just say we're not Comcast and walk out of the room and we're done with it. But solution, so Rocket Fiber. We are a gigabit fiber internet network, providing speeds that are roughly 100 times faster than the current residential average in the United States today. We're also getting ready to launch an IPTV-based cable TV platform that's coming out in about 2 months here. And we also provide business services. So the home internet and the home cable TV, on the business side, we do internet, TV, voice, and we're getting into the managed service space as well. A lot of our clients have kind of expressed a pain point is they don't like to deal with an internet provider, a cable provider, a phone provider, especially kind of the mid-sized tech companies that we deal with. So we're going to get in the entire managed service space as well. Little product comparison in our market. These are the fastest available speeds from our competitors. AT&T, 24 megabit per second, that's over DSL. That's not symmetrical, so that's just the download speed. The upload speed is far slower. $40 a month. Comcast, 105 megabits per second, $115 a month. They've said that they offer a 2 gig fiber product. If you can buy it, let me know, because we haven't found an address you can actually order that product at yet. Rocket Fiber, we come in at a blistering 1,000 megabits per second for $70 a month. That's fully symmetrical internet, so that's upload and download. Whereas, again, the competitors is usually the download speed is what's advertised. So on top of being really, really fast and disrupting the value there, the other thing that we're hanging our hat on is service. So we tried to design Rocket Fiber from a consumer standpoint, knowing that there's all these gotchas and extras that the cable company and the internet provider throw at you. So right now, we're doing no contracts. We're touting ourselves as relationships, not contracts. No installation fees, no promotional pricing. What's typical in our industry is that you'll buy internet or TV, you'll pay an introductory fee, $50 a month, and then 6 months later, you don't even notice your bill doubles. Or after a year, it doubles. And then it's only after, you go through 2 or 3 times, you realize that your bill doubled, that you call and you go through the 2-hour purgatory of trying to get your bill adjusted. We're doing away with that. No rental fee for your equipment, so our gigabit Wi-Fi router is included. Again, that's another gotcha where you buy the service, it's $40, $50 a month. You throw a router on top of that, it's another $10 to $12 a month. A cable TV set-top box, and you get right up to our $70 pricing or above. No data caps, so our competitors are rolling out data caps pretty much universally across their markets right now. We're not doing that. Kind of the funny thing is that I really talk too much about our competitors, but one of them is launching a new gig product. Is that 5 minutes already? Yeah.
Wow. Mark really likes the internet.
Wow. All right, just let me, 30 seconds. What it's going to do, entrepreneurial traction for Detroit. Some of the tech coverage that we've got, we were at TechCrunch a couple months back. We announced actually a 10 gig product. So we're only the 4th residential internet provider in the United States to provide 10 gig to the home. Internet made in Detroit. Actually, I changed it to built in Detroit because it's trademarked. We're creating jobs all over the city. We're actually building high density underground fiber all throughout downtown Detroit. Picture one of our vans and one of our technicians there. We're getting ready to do a retail store in downtown Detroit, so that's something we're really excited about. We're going to be lighting all the public spaces in downtown Detroit, so Campus Martius, M1 Rail, you name it, we're going to light it up. Really excited about esports. We've been approached by several esports tournaments and companies that are excited about coming to Detroit, because what do you need for esports? You need high-speed, low-latency internet. Where we're available, right now we're live in the Central Business District downtown, and we're also live in Midtown, and we're building out the rest of the greater downtown area as we speak. So it's Corktown, Woodbridge, New Center, Eastern Market, Lafayette Park, and Rivertown. Case studies really quick. Chattanooga EPB built a fiber network in Chattanooga in 2010. So pretty cool stats came out of that market. 6,700 new jobs created, 1,000 new jobs in startups, 500% growth in venture capital. And then the most well-documented case, and really the inspiration for Rocket Fiber, was Google Fiber. First Google Fiber was Kansas City. we saw an entire suburban block basically bought up or rented out by entrepreneurs that not only were from the local community, but both Silicon Valley, New York, and Boston had moved there to take advantage of that next generation internet network. And one of the cool use cases that we're seeing out of Kansas City is really expensive software licenses like Photoshop being made publicly available. Now if you have the Google Fiber at home, you can remote desktop connect to a library computer, check out that software essentially because you now have the bandwidth to do it. That's Rocket Fiber.
Some questions for Mark to start up in the middle. You can stand up when you ask it to.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to speak loud. Okay, so I remember Austin, Texas, Provo, Utah, Atlanta, Georgia, Kansas City, Missouri, all had, there's probably another one or two that I'm missing, had Google Fiber come in, basically buy up the fiber networks there, and they offered a rate-limited service for free, basically. I mean, if not free, it was very close to free, and they had a the gigabit offering at $70 a month or whatever, and then an even accelerated one above that. How are you guys going to survive in the event that Google or somebody else comes in and offers a free solution for, obviously it's not the top package, but it is free?
Google's free, by the way.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the new
specific time, didn't they? They stopped the free?
Yes, they
right.
the free program.
That's what they
the
did.
reason they did that was because
and cancel it.
The economics of our business is that when you're in an area, you're doing construction, you want to hook up as many homes and businesses in that area as you can because it's very costly to send crews back out there. So their theory was if we do it for free, even if these people aren't going to buy the $70 a month internet today, down the road they may. So it's cheaper for us to deploy it now, so we'll just give away the free version, which was a $300 installation fee, and then free 5 megabit per second internet. To answer your other question about an overbuilder, we're not really that concerned about Google coming in and overbuilding us because the economics of our industry are that there really can only be one, maybe two fiber providers in a market. So Google's looking around the country and they're looking at other markets that don't have a Rocket Fiber already there. That's how they're expanding. And that's the same way we would expand. We wouldn't go to Google Fiber City. I'd be very surprised if Google popped up one day and announced they were coming to Detroit. I think more likely is that they would approach us confidentially and say we want to buy Rocket Fiber and roll you into our umbrella.
Question, Hi, so first of all, can you come to Toledo, Ohio? Second of all, since the industry is kind of like a cartel style system right now, what were some of the difficulties in breaking into that market that you guys face?
Yeah, it's an interesting observation. The state of Michigan is actually a great place to build and deploy telecom infrastructure. That's because some of our competitors have spent a lot of money taking away the power from the municipality. So there's a lot of laws on the state level in terms of building infrastructure, in terms of obtaining a cable TV franchise that are pretty streamlined. The only disadvantage in the state of Michigan right now is we're one of, I think it's 17 states where we regulate our own telephone poles. So right now in downtown Detroit, we're mostly underground, there are no telephone poles. As we expand outward, we're getting on the telephone poles. And the FCC, a few years back, regulated poles on a national level, but said that states that do their own poles are exempt. And in Michigan, we regulate our own poles, they're super cheap. The only problem is there's no shot clock. So if I apply for a permit to go on a pole from a utility company, I could be waiting 3 months, 6 months, a year, I don't know. Because that piece is not regulated in the state of Michigan. So far to date, that is probably the only bad thing about building a telecom company in Michigan.
As you briefly alluded to, rolling out a fiber network often involves tearing up sidewalks, a lot of capital-intensive infrastructure outlay. Where's that capital coming from, especially if you're not signing up people with these annual contracts?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I probably should have let off. We're part of the Quicken Loans Rock Ventures family of companies. So our chief investor, Dan Gilbert, and his partners. So without having somebody that was willing to take a risk on this type of infrastructure, it'd probably be very hard to bootstrap this type of business. So that's part of the deal was because we've made all these other investments in real estate technology. That's why we're able to make the case for Rocket Fiber in Detroit. It's kind of a perfect storm in terms of what Dan and our organization is doing down
there. I got one more question down here.
If you were to estimate, how long would you say before companies like yours kind of out the traditional telecom companies?
So what we've seen in Kansas City, there's been a couple studies now that have come out, and basically the consensus is that Google's taking between 50 and 70% of the market share in Kansas City of residential internet in the neighborhoods that they are active in. And that's because, again, gigabit internet and the price point that it's offered at is basically unbeatable, and the incumbents have such a bad reputation from a customer service perspective, people don't forget that. And they're able to get away with that traditionally because they're a monopoly or duopoly in most areas. They have no incentive to treat people up. So it is kind of a perfect storm. I think that what you're going to see is they're going to respond. They are. Comcast and AT&T are both working on rolling out their own gigabit products right now. They claim they're working on the customer service aspect. I don't know if that can be taken seriously, but I think what we're going to see as an industry in general is better speed, lower prices, and better customer service across the board because of gigabit fiber providers. It's going to make the industry better.
All right. We got more questions from Mark. Sorry. Well, all right. I'll let my presenter up here give a quick one.
So the way you get through to Comcast when you call them is you press 5 for Spanish.
Yeah.
And then you actually get a bilingual. No, I'm serious. You get a bilingual customer support representative who is almost all the time more helpful than whoever you were going to talk to. They have like 3 buttons. You literally press anything. You don't know what they're saying, but you press anything. Eventually, you're talking to a person. You're like, no, I'm blessed, and then they get you, and you're good. It only takes an extra like 20 minutes. Phenomenal.
One thing I'll add that real quick is there's only like 5.
There's no rocket fiber in my neighborhood, guys.
There you go. There's only like 5 known ways to cancel Comcast, and it's like you either have to tell them you died, you're moving to an area that doesn't have Comcast, you're leaving the country. I can't remember what the other 2 are, but if anyone's canceling it, like just cheat code it to the end. Otherwise, you'll be on the phone.
Yes, but if you die, then the spouse has to go to the store and with a death certificate.
Yes, and they do require that. I've heard that.
So there was actually a startup that started last year, so $5 to cancel your Comcast. They actually created an automated service to do it. And we actually talked to them. They don't do it anymore. And the reason was they figured out it worked about 99% of the time. The 1% they couldn't get it to work. They were on the hook for fulfilling that $5 order and being on the phone for 2 hours. So they ended up pivoting to a different business.
All right, all kinds of new trivia you learned tonight. Thanks so much, Mike. Same time next month on June 21st. If you know anyone who wants to pitch at this or you're curious about it yourself, come find me or one of the other organizers here, or just email organizers@a2newtech.
Remind people to post their announcements.
Yeah, good call. So organizers@a2newtech.org if you have a pitch. If you have an announcement and you want to get it out digitally to everyone, add a comment to the meetup group. That's a great way to get it out to everyone. And so people will be hanging around here for a little bit. Come talk to any of the presenters that you'd like, and then make your way over to Pizza House, which is a few blocks in that direction, 618 Church Street, and we'll get a room in there and hang out and chat some more. Thanks for coming out, everyone.
Are you going to participate in that A2 Health Hacks? The event that? Yeah. My brother-in-law works for another co-founder.